Right. So, talking of cells, Cambridge University scientists only this week actually released an incredible image showing one of the most detailed 3D reconstructions of a human cell ever produced. And people say that this points towards intelligent engineering rather than random chance. What are we looking at here? I mean, for those who are not as skilled in this kind of thing as you are, what are we looking at?
Well, it looks like we have a cross section of the cell, and in that cross section, we're able to see a dynamic representation of the movements of the various cellular organelles. And the organelles are structures within the cell, but at an even more fine grain level, if you go down further, and that this looks like a eukaryotic cell. So this one would have a nucleus. Inside the nucleus would be that DNA protein synthesis system, whereby the instructions on the DNA would build the molecular machines made of proteins and the protein enzymes that are necessary to process the information in DNA, but also to catalyze at very rapid rates all the necessary reactions that keep cells alive. So you now molecular biology.
Now, I'm not a biologist, I'm not a scientist, any of that. Took a couple classes, college, high school. But all that looks like to me is just a super, super, super advanced computer. And that's just one human cell. That's what it looks like to me. I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist or a biologist to see that. That's just all it screams to me. Now, obviously, let's just leave it there. I think that it's definitely, when you see something like that, I think it points to intelligent design for sure.
Biologists will very quickly, and cell biologists will kind of start to wax lyrical and describe the interior workings of the cell as something like an automated factory run by digital code, in which the code is processed by little nano machines. So it's information processing, miniature machinery, and it's automated to a degree that it's just mind blowing. So the idea of the simple homogeneous globule of goo is long, long ways back in the rearview mirror. It's a completely new day in biology. And of course, when the main evolutionary ideas of Darwin and others were first formulated in the late 19th century, they knew of nothing of this. And so this is especially
Right.
for the field known as chemical evolution, or the theory known as chemical evolutionary theory, the theory that purports to explain how we got from the simple chemicals in a alleged prebiotic environment or soup to the first self-replicating organism. Those theories are at a state of complete impasse. No evolutionary biologist has a compelling, persuasive, or even plausible theory of how you get from chemistry to a full living cell. I know your producer has been also seeking an interview with my colleague James Tour, who is in the film. Professor Tour has over 850 peer-reviewed publications. He's one of the top organic synthesis experts in the world, also a specialist in nanotechnology, and he's been a very outspoken critic of scientists who present to the public the idea that we understand how the living cell came about through undirected chemical processes, when in fact no such thing is the case. So that little snapshot you just showed gives just a flavor of the complexity. In the film, we go a little bit deeper to the nano scale and show the way the information on DNA is being processed. We show the machines that are being built. And once you see this, you can't unsee it. You realize you almost don't need to make an argument for intelligent design, because you can see that this is obviously an intricately designed system on a miniaturized scale.
I think that with the advancement in technology and the information that we are going to go off and discover in the future, I don't think that's going to be a debate anymore on whether cells or the universe itself is intelligently designed. It's kind of fallen apart, the argument that things are just random and here by chance. I don't think that's really going to be a thing the next 10, 15 years with the discoveries that we're going to find. I obviously believe that the Bible is supported by science and they work together. I think that God is magnificent. I think the layers on which his creativity functions is absolutely incomprehensible. Just looking at just the human cell alone, not even the universe and flowers, plants, language, logic. I think that the argument is going to be, who was the intelligent designer? Obviously, I've said this all along. This is what I think. I think there's a shift happening in the world where a lot of us are trying to figure this whole thing out in terms of where do we go from here, especially in America, with a lot of the confusion on gender, or the lack thereof, gender fluidity, or a lot of confusion on gender roles, differences between men and women. I think it's caused a lot of confusion, and a lot of people are turning to God and turning to something for an answer or a bigger purpose, right? I think that I always say it, with science and investments in technology, all we're gonna do is just continually reveal God's greatness. And I know Stephen Meyer, he just had a movie drop called The Story of Everything. If you guys watch the movie, let me know how it is in the comments. I haven't seen it yet, but I definitely am going to see it. Let me know what you guys think of this in the video below or in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think of this in the comment section below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys, as always.